I'm Lenny Leonard, and we are here on WWNLive.com from Charlotte, North Carolina, for a very special edition of Evolve number 12. And we've got a bit of an intimate setting, studio style here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we thank you fans for joining us here tonight. We're going to kick things off with a three-way matchup. The first fall will win it. Evolve making its North Carolina debut here this weekend with a huge 2 nights of pro wrestling action. We are in Concord, North Carolina tomorrow night. Also right here on WWNLive.com at 8 o'clock. And you may notice a little something different here as Caleb Conley of The Scene makes his way to the ring. Larry Dallas, conspicuous by his absence, even more conspicuous by his presence, is reality TV star Johnny Fairplay. This opening contest is a three-way match. It is scheduled for one fall. Your referee is Frankie Gastineau. Introducing first, in the far right corner, with a record of 0 wins with 1 defeat, Adam Page. His opponent in the corner to my left, making his Evolve singles debut, he is a member of Chuck Taylor's Gentlemen's Club, the Man Scout, Jake Manning. And their opponent in the corner to my right, accompanied to ringside by Amanda and Johnny Fairplay. He is one half of The Scene with a record of 1 win with 1 defeat, Caleb Conley. Frankie Gastineau calls for the opening bell. Three-way matchup here in North Carolina to kick things off on a huge night for Evolve. As we make our North Carolina debut, in the Man Scout has gotten the Man Scout rulebook in the corner. Not that he follows the pro wrestling rulebook, but he expects everyone to adhere to the Man Scout rulebook. Of course, a member of Chuck Taylor's Gentlemen's Club. Really making a mockery of things here in Evolve is Chuck Taylor, since his stunning turn on longtime partner, a member of Ronin, Johnny Gargano. And Caleb Conley content to look on at the moment as Adam Page finds himself caught in the wrist lock by the Man Scout, but just that quickly, Conley seizes the advantage, much to the enjoyment on the outside of TV star Johnny Fairplay. The action's going to be quick in this one. A roll-up by Page. Gets himself a 1 count. Beat Paso. Conley runs into a deep arm drag, as does the Man Scout. Of course, Larry Dallas, leader of The Scene, currently in Japan with Dragon Gate over the next several months. A couple of quick roll-ups right there, and another one by Page. The action fast and furious here in our opening contest. And of course, The Scene, as always, has a bevy of women at ringside, and tonight it's the lovely Amanda on hand here to suck face with Caleb Conley. And Johnny Fairplay standing in the shoes of Larry Dallas. That's when I thought I was happy to have that guy out of my hair. We get Johnny Fairplay instead. I don't know if that's much better. But Adam Page looking much better here than he did in his debut. It was Caleb Conley who defeated Adam Page back in Toronto at Evolve 11. And all 3 of these guys really looking to break out here tonight in this matchup, as both Manning and Page look to get their first win, and Caleb Conley looks to get above the 500 mark and move to 2-1. And right now it is Page. Looking very good here. One of the best young athletes in the South. The share of fans here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Caleb Conley not going to be one of them after that spinning heel kick. Very nicely done by Page as he caught Conley coming off the top. And it is the Man Scout missing with the right hand as well as the back elbow. But Page misses the cross body. Manning nails it with the boot to the ribcage in a 2 count before turning his attention back to Caleb Conley. Big show here tonight. We've got Low Key taking on El Generico. Excuse me, check that. It was Low Key who defeated El Generico in Toronto to move to 2-0. Now it's Low Key taking on the undefeated Jigsaw here later on tonight. And a little ahead of myself, it's El Generico taking on Ricochet in a bit of a dream matchup for wrestling fans. Two of the best high flyers in the business. But right now, it's Caleb Conley seizing the opportunity to attack both his competitors. Scoring with the senton. Hooks the leg, gets a 2 count. And it will be Evolution's end later on tonight. The war between AR Fox and Sami Callihan comes to a conclusion here. And it will be a violent one, I am sure. Fans getting behind Adam Page as he fires out of the corner. Knife edge chops to the chest. Reversal of the whip. Up and over the top. Sunset flip. And another near fall for Page. But it's Conley looking to quickly get back to his feet and seize the advantage. Blocked. STO DDT combination by Manning. Goes for the cover. 2.5. Says Frankie Gastineau. Textbook butterfly suplex by the Man Scout. Gets himself a pair of near falls. Hooks both legs this time. Make it 3 near falls. On the part of Jake Manning right there. It's the hair of Conley, who eats a couple of chops. Enziguri right to the back of the head rings the bell of the Man Scout, but it is Conley back to his feet. And think about these 3-way matchups. Always need to know where your opponent is, or literally almost. Need eyes in the back of your head. Standing shooting star press for an ear fall. After a wicked super kick by Page as well. Shoulder blocks to the midsection by Conley. As the Man Scout drops down to the floor here, trying to recuperate, leaving Conley alone in the ring with Adam Page perched on the top. Page knocks Conley down to the canvas. Man Scout back in. Nice evasion there by Conley. As he drives the Man Scout down to the canvas. Not exactly the best moonsault ever, but very pretty. Even though he missed. Nice missile drop kick. Backbreaker. Faceplant combo by the Man Scout. Cover. It's over. Here is your winner, and now 1-0, the Man Scout, Jake Manning. Great way to kick off Evolve 12 here in North Carolina. It's a victory for the Man Scout, Jake Manning. Sure to make the Kentucky gentleman, Chuck Taylor, pleased as he gets ready for his tag team match later on tonight, as he teams with Silas Young against Johnny Gargano and Samurai Del Sol in a pick-a-partner tag team matchup. This next match is a singles match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first to the corner of my left, making his Evolve singles debut, Mike Cruz. And his opponent in the corner of my right with a record of 1 win with no defeats, Alex Reynolds. Frankie Gastineau calls for the opening bell in our next singles matchup here in Charlotte. A very interesting matchup between two of the very best young prospects in the business. It's Mike Cruz in the black trunks, making his singles debut here in Evolve, one of the very best in the state of Florida. Really impressed Evolve and Dragon Gate USA officials with his efforts on the independent scene down in the state of Florida. Over the past year or so, caught the eye and earned himself an opportunity with Dragon Gate USA back as part of the huge triple shot in March. And a very strong showing in Hollywood, Florida, back at Dragon Gate USA Heat. Available on demand here at WWNLive.com. And a very great matchup against Ricochet before falling to defeat. And it's Alex Reynolds out of NYWC, one of the very best prospects in the Northeast. Already 1-0 here in his Evolve career. So a great monkey flip right there at a counter by Mike Cruz. And it was Reynolds making his singles debut in Toronto with a victory over John Silver. So a big matchup here for both these guys as Reynolds looks to stay on the winning track and head to 2-0. Mike Cruz looks to pick up his first victory in his first attempt here. And he puts his body on the line. Tope Suicida to the floor by Cruz. And he smartly immediately goes for the cover but doesn't hook the leg. And that gives the much larger and more powerful Reynolds the opportunity to slip out the back door. A little hesitation there on the part of Cruz, and he caught the boot. Reynolds went for it again. Nobody home. Cruz gets hung up in the ropes, but able to catch himself. Lands on the apron before eating a shoulder block to the midsection that completely doubled him over. And then gets drilled back first into the steel ring post, which sends referee Frankie Gastineau out to the floor to check on him. And this time it's Reynolds immediately rolling Cruz under the bottom rope and going for a pin. Gets himself a near fall before sending Cruz chest first into the buckle. Shoulders down. Only 2. Once again, says Frankie Gastineau. Both these guys showed a lot of heart so far, kicking out of a couple of tough near falls. And once again, it's the midsection of Mike Cruz, the focus of the offense of Alex Reynolds as he drives the knee to the solar plexus for a near fall. And the fans here getting behind Mike Cruz as he's trying to fire back. Right hands and chops as he gets back to his feet here. Boot to the gut yet again by Reynolds. And slingshot turns him inside out. And again, Cruz having to dig down. Second time. And now more attack by Reynolds on the midsection of the rib cage of Mike Cruz. Variation on the abdominal stretch, driving the elbow right in between the ribs of Mike Cruz, trying to really tweak that intercostal muscle between the ribs of Mike Cruz, who's got to find a way to get back to his feet here. Drives him down to a canvas, but unable to get much more than a near fall right there that Cruz slipped out of. And again, back to the seated abdominal stretch, but it doesn't quite have it hooked here. Cruz able to get that left arm out, get the leg of Reynolds off of him, and get back to his feet like he did right there. But another knee buried into the midsection of Cruz by Reynolds. Went for it one too many times. Caught in a roll-up for a near fall. And a quick 2 count before the knife edge chop by Cruz, who's trying to fight back here. Cruz taking a lot of punishment from Reynolds over the past several minutes here. Trying to find that second gear. Ducks the right hand. Nails the diving forearm. Double chop to the chest. Nice flurry of offense here. Running hip attack in the corner. Enziguri caught him right on the side of the jaw. And sends Reynolds into the corner. Before Cruz slides through the ropes after connecting with the face of Reynolds. Springboard blockbuster, that might be all. 2 3/4. As this time it was Reynolds able to get the shoulder up at 2. And both men now starting to show a little wear and tear here, as it took a few seconds there for Cruz. Trying to make it back to his feet. But it's Reynolds. Right back up. Leapfrog out of the corner. Driven sky high and then down across the knees. And Reynolds can't believe it. And that gets this crowd behind Mike Cruz. Appreciating the heart this young man showing here against Alex Reynolds. Cruz elevated. Knee strike. Great counter right there by Cruz, but another knee strike making a pair in retaliation by Reynolds. This time Cruz able to go up and over instead. Full Nelson, but very difficult maneuver. Giving up a lot of height to Reynolds, who easily escapes right there. Misses that kick. Waistlock. And the O'Connor roll. Nice roll through there by Cruz and a counter for a 2 count. Shoulders down, and Reynolds got him. What a counter by Alex Reynolds to move to 2-0. Here is your winner, and now 2-0, Alex Reynolds. A very fought back and forth contest between Alex Reynolds and Mike Cruz. And it was a last-second counter there by Reynolds to combat the initial counter of Mike Cruz that earned him the victory. Mike Cruz, nothing to feel upset about here in his debut. As part of Evolve 12 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm pretty sure we are going to see him again in the future as well as Alex Reynolds, who takes another step closer to the top of the Evolve leaderboard at 2-0. This next match is a singles match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first in the corner of my right, with an Evolve singles record of 1 win with no defeats, this is Jigsaw. And his opponent in the corner of my left, with a record of 2 wins with no defeats, ladies and gentlemen, this is the World Warrior, Low Ki. All right, nice hand for the masked man Jigsaw from the fans here in North Carolina as he makes his way to the ring, and he certainly has a stiff test in front of him in the person of the World Warrior Low Ki. Both these men undefeated in singles competition here, a first-time ever matchup between these two great athletes out of the New York area. Low Ki, of course, undefeated not just here in Evolve, but in Dragon Gate USA as well. He beat El Generico back in Toronto at Evolve 11 and made some rather controversial statements at the end of that matchup. Also controversial the fact that for the second time now in a row here, after his initial debut in Philadelphia, Low Ki coming out not to the normal Evolve theme, but his own theme music. A bit unusual. His Jigsaw back in singles competition here after his victory at Evolve 10 in Philadelphia, where he gave AR Fox his first defeat here as part of the Evolve singles roster. Of course, before making his singles debut back in Philadelphia. Oh, what a chop! Jigsaw expecting the clean break, no such luck as he gets lit up by the world-class striker Low Ki. Like I said, it was before Jigsaw made his singles debut back as part of the tribute to the arena show in Philadelphia. He had a very distinguished career here in Evolve as part of the tag team division as a member of the now defunct Chikara Sekagun team. As they maintain position at the top of the tag team leaderboard during their stay here. But now it's Jigsaw going at the solo route and looking to maintain successful his climb towards the top of the leaderboard. Of course, Low Ki making his debut back in Philadelphia as well as part of Evolve 10 in spectacular fashion, knocking out Larry Dallas's monster Atu in just vicious fashion. And it is the very dangerous feat of Low Ki that clearly Jigsaw is paying close attention to here in the early portion of this matchup. And Low Ki with a clean break that time, perhaps trying to get into the head of Jigsaw. As earlier when Jigsaw expecting the clean break didn't get one, now expecting Low Ki to strike, he did not. So clearly trying to keep Jigsaw off balance, but right now it's Jigsaw rather surprisingly able to control Low Ki on the ground. Low Ki not just a spectacular striker, but a very gifted technical ground wrestler, and he not at all uncomfortable on the canvas as he quickly escapes the full guard of Jigsaw. Had the crossface chicken wing for a moment, now just a hammerlock. Jigsaw using his aerial skills to escape. And Jigsaw clearly giving a great deal of respect in the early going here to Jigsaw. Bit of a feeling out process so far in the early going between these two. As Low Ki now going to work on the arm of the taller masked man, but really wrenching down on it, taking Jigsaw down to a knee and eliminating that height advantage for the moment. Everything Low Ki does so very crisp inside the ring, and again now tying Jigsaw up in knots here. Has the arm trapped while grabbing the crossface. Jigsaw, though, able to maneuver his way under the ropes to force a break, but Low Ki trying to stay on top of him. Jigsaw wisely staying in the ropes. But now Low Ki maybe a little bit frustrated, asking Jigsaw, let's go, tell him to get back to his feet. And clearly Low Ki succeeding in forcing Jigsaw to wrestle a much more defensive match than I think Jigsaw would like here. Jigsaw, explosive, offensive wrestler. But Low Ki doing everything he can to eliminate that explosiveness as he again goes back to the leg. As the single leg. Jigsaw right there with an opportunity, I think, to grab that near leg of Low Ki to try and free himself. Hasn't taken advantage of it yet, but now trying to grapevine it. Maybe grab a body scissors right there, but in process forces Low Ki into the ropes and again gets a clean break, but Jigsaw slow to get back to his feet as Low Ki implores him to get back up and fight. Single-handed knuckle lock here. And there's the quickness of Jigsaw. He's able to quickly get behind Low Ki, now shoots the half Nelson while grabbing control of the hammerlock as well. Pressure on multiple body parts here by Jigsaw as Low Ki refusing to give it up. Low Ki turning position here. Trying to free himself, but Jigsaw hangs on and grabs a sunset flip for a near fall that forces now for the first time Low Ki into the corner. But only for the moment as he sort of crab walks his way back to the center of the ring. Trying to lure Jigsaw in here. And now he's got Jigsaw in a place I don't think Jigsaw wants to be. He's backed into the corner. Wisely makes his way to the center of the ring while maintaining control of the leg of Low Ki. And I think he may have surprised Ki there. As I think Low Ki thought he was going to have Jigsaw in a disadvantageous position in the corner, but Jigsaw quickly able to counter that attempt by Low Ki. Grabs control of the leg, takes Ki off his feet. And now has him chest first on the canvas. Trying to throw elbows to escape. With Jigsaw not backing down. Every time Low Ki strikes with the elbow, he wrenches right back down on the ankle and knee. But that one caught him as did that brutal shot to the ribcage. Snapmare out of the corner. And that one like a shotgun blast throughout the building here for a 2 count. Well, the man who's had a very successful last couple of weeks. Low-key just back from a tour of New Japan where he picked up a huge victory, becoming the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion in a tremendous battle against outstanding Irish athlete Prince Fergal Devitt. Now Low-key prepares to return to Japan as part of their Super Junior tournament coming up. But he is certainly being put to the test here by Jigsaw. But right back to the ribcage, much like we saw Alex Reynolds focus his attack on Mike Cruz moments ago in their last matchup. Now the body scissors trying to suck the oxygen out like a boa constrictor. Every time Jigsaw takes a breath, it looks like Low-key wrenches down, making it even more difficult for Jigsaw to draw his next breath. And the chin lock as well, as Low-key now talking a little bit of junk here, looks like. As he forces the head of Jigsaw to the canvas as he grabs the rope. Earning the break, but Low-key not wasting any time. Stomping away. Vicious kicks in the corner. And you can hear Jigsaw the oxygen being driven out of his chest by those blows. Now slow to get to his feet. European uppercut. And Low-key now clearly with the advantage. Just punishing Jigsaw in the corner. Low-key making no bones about why he is here in Evolve. He wants an Evolve championship, and that chop, it looked like Jigsaw tried to duck out of the way and he got chopped to the top of the head, maybe caught a finger in the eye hole of that mask. Jigsaw went up and over in the corner. Looked like he was going for maneuver out of the corner. May have caught Low-key in the face. But that certainly took a little bit out of Jigsaw as well. Not a lot of steam on that chop. Much more on the one that he caught in retaliation. Jigsaw, you got to give him credit for fighting back, but he does not want to get in a striking match with an athlete the caliber of Low-key. That's playing right into Low-key's wheelhouse. And Low-key now just brutalizing Jigsaw here. And the fans here showing their respect to the sheer dominance on display. And a nice reversal right there by Jigsaw, who's refusing to go quietly here. Able to stay on his feet. Drop kick in the corner. The back of Low-key's head hit the turnbuckle. And Key with a dazed look on his face as he gets back to his feet. Jigsaw to the top here. Cross body, but Key rolls through. Jigsaw rolls through, and both men end up in the ropes. Jigsaw calling for the brainbuster. Key with a block. Jigsaw maneuvers Key to the corner, places him up top. Both men trading strikes. Jigsaw trying to follow him up to the second rope and does. Headbutt right to the sternum, sends Jigsaw down. Head of steam. Leaping Hurricane Rana. Hooks the leg for 2. Didn't have a complete lateral press right there on the chest of Low Ki. And that enabled him to get the shoulder up at 2. Jigsaw looking for the super kick. He's got Ki staggered here. Oh, what a counter. Jigsaw maybe playing possum there. Excuse me, Low Ki perhaps playing possum. Had the super kick scouted. Went downstairs to take out the knee. And now looking for the Ki Crusher. Small package, great counter by Jigsaw. The Masked Man gets 2. Roll up for 2. Jigsaw with Low Ki reeling here. Sunset flip. Oh, can't get him off his feet. And pays the price with a double stop. Calling for it again. Ki Crusher. And Low Ki is 3-0.
Here's your winner, and now 3-0, the world. That's right. Give it up for this kid. A valiant effort, to say the least. But I would like to know is when you're going to stop pretending to be a luchador and start becoming a real professional wrestler. I'm sick and I'm tired of these kids thinking that this profession is easy. Trying to pretend to be something that they're not. You really want to get noticed? Be a man in this ring.
This next singles match is scheduled for 1 fall. John Davis already in the ring, pacing here as we wait his opponent. Perhaps a little gamesmanship on the part of the veteran, Dave Fit Finlay, who finally makes his way out to the ring.
Introducing first in the corner to my right, with an Evolve singles record of 1 win and 1 defeat, John Davis. And his opponent in the corner to my left, with an Evolve singles record of 2 wins and no defeat, Dave Fit Finlay.
Oh, there's the opening bell, and this match promises to be a hard-hitting contest. These two men with an ongoing issue between one another. It was back at Evolve 9 at BB King's in New York City, which saw a backstage confrontation of sorts between Fit Finlay and John Davis. As Fit Finlay had some strong words for John Davis in the locker room, Davis didn't seem to appreciate the sentiments of the veteran. And it was back in Philadelphia at Evolve 10, the tribute to the arena, which saw John Davis, after a big victory, issue an open challenge to Fit Finlay at any opportunity to step in the ring with them one-on-one. And it was in Los Angeles, which saw another face-to-face confrontation between these two men. And this time it became physical as opposed to simply verbal. Fit Finlay slapping the face of John Davis. Of course, Fit Finlay 2-0 here in singles competition, both victories. Brutal contest against Sami Callihan. The first one back at Evolve 9. The second just a few weeks ago at Evolve 11 in Toronto. Both those shows available here on WWNLive.com, as will tomorrow night's show from Concord, North Carolina, 8 o'clock here on iPay-per-view. But when these two squared off at the opening bell, that, however, was not the first altercation between these two men here in North Carolina tonight. It was earlier tonight before the show. There was a backstage altercation that took place between Davis and Finlay, and we have exclusive footage of that available on our YouTube page. You can go to youtube.com. It is DGUSA dot, that's D-O-T, not the dot, actual spelled out dot, DGUSA DOT TV. And you can check out exclusive footage of that altercation from earlier tonight between Davis and Finlay. And we saw a couple of interviews delivered by both Davis and Finlay over the last couple of weeks. Finlay making reference to John Davis calling his mama, crying because Finlay had gotten in his face, and John Davis perhaps thinking that maybe he's shown not just his opponents here in Evolve, but Fit Finlay in particular, perhaps a little bit too much respect. And perhaps he maybe needed to change that here tonight. As John Davis, a man who wears a t-shirt very often that says the phrase, established dominance. And he is certainly going to have to go a long way to establish dominance against an athlete the likes of Dave Finlay, who's getting looked at in the corner. Perhaps a bit of a problem with the eye of Fit Finlay here. As again, seems to be having some difficulty with that left eye, asking for some time here. And again, referee checking. Fit Finlay in the corner, asking Finlay if he wants to give it up. He says no. I don't see any blood coming from the eye, so it doesn't look like a laceration of any sorts, but they were jockeying rather violently on the canvas there. Perhaps an errant elbow or the laces of the boots of John Davis making contact with the eye, causing a little blurred vision, or perhaps, much like Fit Finlay tried to do at the open of this matchup, maybe a little gamesmanship, just trying to get into the head of John Davis here. These two heavyweights feeling each other out here. In the early going. Quick wrist lock. Grabbed right there by Davis. Sends the Belfast Bruiser down to a knee. Now a top wrist lock. And this move here, just a sheer match of power between two very, very strong athletes. And right now it is Davis showing a little bit more power, forcing Finlay down to the canvas off that top wrist lock. Shoulders to the canvas for a 1 count. And then stomping on the elbow of Fit Finlay, who rather gingerly makes his way back to his feet. And so far in the early going, it does seem to be John Davis looking to press the offense here. As Finlay seemingly forced to wrestle a little more defensively than we've been seeing him wrestle here in his 2 matches thus far in Evolve. And there, seizing the opportunity presented to him, ripping at the face of John Davis. But again, it's Davis grabbing the wrist lock before a right hand from Finlay connects. And that one only seemed to anger Davis as he forces him down to the canvas.
No.
And I, for one, got to say, I'm a little bit surprised at the way this match has gone here in the early going. I, for one, expected, and I said it in the early going, a lot more hard-hitting style of contest, but it has been a bit of a catch-as-catch kind of wrestling game between these two guys, as clearly both guys showing each other and showing the power that both men possess. A great deal of respect here. And the second or third time right there for Finlay to seize the advantage on an unsuspecting Davis. And this time, perhaps a little bit more sustained advantage by Finlay as he violently drops the elbow across the throat. Stomping on the fingers. Both hands now. John Davis screams in discomfort. Before Finlay grabs the chin lock. Trying to make it a little difficult for John Davis to catch his breath here. That caught Davis right across the bridge of the nose. Makes the eyes water. As Davis now backs Finlay into the corner. Continuing his offense on the arm of Finlay here. Using the ropes to his advantage, and now delivering a series of brutal right hands to the tricep before returning the favor with a rear chin lock. On that one to the elbow as Davis drove the knee. I mentioned we are back here tomorrow on iPay-Per-View, WWNLive.com, 8 o'clock from Concord, North Carolina. And there is a four-way tomorrow night. It'll be Ricochet taking on AR Fox, Jigsaw, and Samurai Del Sol. And the winner of that matchup gets the opportunity of a lifetime. A shot at the Open the Freedom Gate champion, Johnny Gargano, in the main event. John Davis, as if he didn't have a stern enough test here tonight, versus Fit Finlay. He jumps out of the frying pan and into the fire tomorrow night as he takes on Low Ki. And it's Sami Callihan. Who knows what kind of shape he's going to be in after Evolution's end here tonight against AR Fox, taking on El Generico. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Right here at WWNLive.com, your home for iPay-per-view. The submission predicament here for Davis, as Finlay telling him all you got to do is tap. So he again continues to try and get into the head of John Davis, but it's Davis able to muscle his way to the ropes. Forces the break. So referee Brandon Tolley extricates Davis from that predicament. Finlay just shoving Davis into the corner. And now Davis with a noticeable limp, while Finlay clearly nursing the wrist and elbow that John Davis focused on. So both these guys a little bit dinged here as this match continues. Question is, which one of these guys is going to be able to block out the pain and go on the offense? And right now it is Finlay. Like a shark, smelling blood in the water, going right back to the leg, the ankle and the knee of John Davis here. And make no mistake about it, John Davis gets so much of his power from his massive legs that Finlay trying to take one of those legs away. It's like having a table. You take one leg, you break it. You got a three-legged table. It's not very sturdy. It's not going to be able to hold a lot of weight. And John Davis trying to free himself here with a series of vicious kicks to the back of Finlay, who fires away with right hands to the head. And now this one's starting to break down a little bit here. Finlay pitching Davis out to the floor now, taking it to the streets, much like we saw the battles between himself and Sami Callihan, spilling out to the floor. This one now has as well. Double count applied. Finlay doing the damage before, using the opportunity to perhaps rest himself a bit inside the ring, and also puts himself in the advantage position as Davis has to try and get back into the ring with Finlay there blocking his attempts. Oh, Finlay now backs off and allows Davis to make his way back into the squared circle, and they stare each other down one more time. Very methodical pace here. Oh, big right hand right there by Davis. That one caught Finlay in the corner. And a vicious single leg trip on the part of Finlay takes Davis immediately off his feet. And both men, while wrestling a very hard-hitting match, seem to be wrestling a very careful match. Neither man seemingly wants to make that damning mistake that could quickly end this matchup, knowing the sheer power and brutality that their opponent possesses. So while John Davis mentioned he may be giving a little too much respect to his opponents, he clearly still respecting the abilities of Fit Finlay. And Finlay, while being a little facetious in his taunts to John Davis during the course of his interview, is clearly respecting the power that John Davis brings to the ring. And the ability both these guys possess clearly on display, as neither man able to gain a clear-cut advantage for an extended period of time. It's several minute spurts of offense followed by quick counters and their opponent taking control. We've seen it back and forth for the complete length of this matchup. And just that quickly, when Davis seemingly had the advantage, now it's Finlay in control. Switching things up. Taking Davis off his feet. Now riding Davis, forcing John Davis for the moment there to carry not only his own body weight, the 280 pounds or so that John Davis brings into the squared circle, but the 260 plus of Dave Finlay. Who now steps over and grapevines the legs. Another submission predicament here for John Davis. Nice roll through there. Variation on Indian Deathlock. Forces the shoulders of Davis down to the canvas, but Davis fights through the pain. Finlay quickly to the outside, now on the floor, has hold of the leg and drives the heavily muscled hamstring and knee of John Davis across the ring apron. Nothing but steel and wood on the edge of the ring frame, and nothing but metal right there on the ring post. Meeting the outside of the knee, the ACL of John Davis, cracking against the steel. Rather derisive kick to the chest before that European uppercut, which elicits an immediate response from Davis, but a boot right to the quadriceps. Charlie horsed that leg and immediately forced Davis right back down to the canvas, a position he desperately needs to remove himself from if he's going to have any chance to get back into this matchup here against Finlay. Davis trying to grab a chin lock, but as he does, it's Finlay wrenching down on the knee, and now more added pressures. The knee of Finlay right into the back of the knee of John Davis, while that leg again trapped and stomped down to the canvas. Single leg pickup, back heel trip again. Every time Davis able to make it back to his feet, Finlay has been able to get him back down on the canvas. And Finlay starting to look very, very confident here, as he's got to step over toe hold. Precursor to the STF, doesn't have the face lock portion of the STF here, just the step over toe hold. And now driving the shoulder between the shoulder blades of Davis, again forcing that knee against the grain. Now the STF right across the bridge of the nose. Referee asking Davis if he wants to give it up. Finlay trying to get in his head, but Davis, super tough, won't give it up. Finlay shoots the half, but what a counter right there. Fujiwara armbar by Davis. What a counter as he rolled through the pin attempt. Fit Finlay in trouble here. Davis trying to rip the shoulder of Fit Finlay out of the socket here. And I don't think Finlay realizes how close to the ropes he was right there. Could have perhaps made it to the ropes to force the break. Instead, trying to make it back to his feet. Nope, now under the bottom rope goes Finlay. And he now finds himself much in the same position John Davis was in moments ago. Arm meets steel. Shoulder block. It's again trying to dislocate that shoulder. Trying to cause a subluxation of that CV joint. And force Fit Finlay to take a trip to the hospital tonight. And once again, the pendulum swings back in the favor of John Davis. As for several moments, things were beginning to look extremely dire on the part of John Davis, but a great counter puts him back in control here, and now it's Finlay who's got to dig deep here. Second knee strike. Davis, though, like a pit bull, won't let go. That time. His bell may be rung by Finlay, and both men now very slow to try and get back to their feet. Waistlock. Finlay shoulder first into the corner. Textbook belly-to-back superplex. High-impact offense here from Davis. Davis showing the agility. Second rope moonsault for two. And he hears it from the crowd here in Charlotte. Davis scoops him up. Finlay slips down into a sleeper. What a counter by Finlay. Trying to put Davis to sleep here.
Stop it, John. Come on.
John Davis
Come on, John. Come on.
in trouble here, but very close to the ropes.
Come on, you gotta give it to me. Come on, you gotta break it. Come on. Two.
And in the ropes. And I'm not sure if all the damage done to the left arm of Fit Finlay during the course of this match by John Davis allowed Finlay to really cinch in that sleeper. Spinebuster out of nowhere by Davis for two. When a right-handed man like Fit Finlay attempts to lock in a sleeper, it is the left arm that goes across the carotid artery. That's the one that causes the pressure to put his opponent to sleep. Finlay couldn't lock it in. Davis got back up. And now it's Davis with a big boot, seizing the advantage here on Finlay. Hard shots in the corner. Davis to the back. Finlay may have gone downstairs there. If it wasn't low, it was close. Oh, what a show of strength here. Tombstone dropped him right on his head. And it's over. Finlay moves to 3-0.
Let's hear it again here for John Davis. A tremendous effort. But it is Dave "Fit" Finlay once again victorious here in Evolve. That's 3 for 3. You have been in 3 absolute wars. Fit Finlay, another, and I keep saying it every time we get together after one of these, another very, very tough victory for you here in Evolve.
I tell you what, these young guys get tougher and tougher. You know, I'm for another fight right now. Let's start here. John Davis. He's an awesome kid, and he's got a bright future in front of him. And I think you all need to stand up and applaud him, not me. This guy.
They've got a tremendous effort on the part of John Davis. He persevered, he gave you everything you've been asking more.
Speaking of talent and people going further and making big things of themselves, I want to address Sami Callihan. Sami Callihan needs to get his head from out of his you-know-what. Forget all those feuds, because Sami Callihan can be a champion anywhere in the world. I know I've been...
How about you mind your own business?
I think that's an example of exactly what you've been talking about.
This kid has got what it takes. I know I've wrestled him States, I've wrestled him in Germany. He's wasting his time. He needs to become a wrestler like what is inside him. He's got it inside him. He's got to bring it out and forget all those feuds.
Fans, once again, victorious now, 3-0 for the ball. Let's hear it. Dave "Fit" Finlay. Fans, we're going to take our intermission. We'll be back for the second half in just a little bit.
Evolve 9, certain Irishmen decided to get in my face, treat me like a green boy. You wanted to pump me, you wanted to motivate me. That Irishman, his name was Fit Finlay. Consider this an open challenge, Mr. Finlay. Next time you come to a wall, you stand across the ring with John Davis. So I get my win and I establish dominance. Fit Finlay, I remember you getting in my face in New York. I have been calling you out and calling you out, but yet my phone hasn't rang. How long is it going to take? What do I have to do? What do I have to do?
Here I am. You know what? I've been sitting out here watching wrestling, watching people selling t-shirts, and I have people coming up to me saying, "This idiot is calling me out."
I am.
Really?
Yes.
Let me tell you something. A stupid little boy with a hat on sideways, almost a beard. Almost a beard. You haven't learned a thing from the last time I've seen you. Nothing. I don't answer phone calls. I don't put it on the internet. I don't text. I don't do Twitter. I don't do Facebook. Well, I'll get right in your face, sunshine. Because you know what? You have never John Davis, I've got a little word to put in your ear. You know, I punked you out twice. Once, B.B. King's in New York. The second time I came up and slapped you in the face, shoved you around. How am I supposed to respect a punk like you? I shove around, and then he goes away, gets on the phone. Hey, mama, this boy's is... Listen, sunshine, step up. I've got a date free. The 11th of May in Carolina. So if you can build yourself up to that, if you can get your mother to, like, you know, prop you up, bring your family, bring whoever you want, but you better bring a set of nuts. Because I, Fit Finley, I'm all about taking care of business.
Oh, wait a second. Sami Callihan. Oh, he's got a bottle. Ah! He is carving up Zephyr with a broken bottle. Look out! Sami Callihan choking the life out of Sabu.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring. Ring, ring. You hear that? That's the alarm clock going off on the Cinderella story known as the Extreme Arena. Honestly, I'm sick of all the funerals. I'm sick of all the hardcore homecomings. How many reunion shows are we gonna have before this thing just finally dies? Just look around. This ain't the era of Extreme anymore. Over the last couple of years, this has become my ring. Hey, you. These have become my fans. And this has become my arena.
The following contest is a tag team match. It is scheduled for one fall.
This match is a pick your partner tag team match. it does not count towards the Evolve records. Introducing first, in the corner to my right, accompanied at ringside by the Man Scout Jake Manning and the Swamp Monster. Representing the Gentlemen's Club, the team of Silas Young and the Kentucky Gentleman, Chuck Taylor. And their opponents in the corner to my left, the team of Samurai Del Sol and the Open, the Freedom Gate champion, the whole shebang, Johnny Gargano. Very special tag team match here, kicking off the second half of Evolve 12 in Charlotte, North Carolina. Pick your partner tag team matchup. Chuck Taylor and Johnny Gargano, former stablemates, former teammates, longtime friends, and partners in Ronin. Squaring off here, both men had the opportunity to pick their own partner. Chuck Taylor called upon Silas Young, who's telling Johnny Gargano, I got beef with you. If you want to get to Chuck Taylor, you've got to get through me. Gargano trying to shake the hand of Silas Young, who will have none of it. Silas Young, his problems with substance abuse, well documented during the early days of Evolve. And it was no secret, a much different Johnny Gargano was part of the roster of Evolve than the one we see here now. Johnny Gargano now is a locker room leader. He is the Open the Freedom Gate champion. He is the top dog both here and in Dragon Gate USA. And he is not the same man who, there's no other way to put it, caused Silas Young to fall off the wagon. He tried to apologize to Silas. Silas would have none of it. And he clearly wants to get his hands on Chuck Taylor, does Johnny Gargano. But right now it is Samurai Del Sol showing the agility. And Taylor very proud of himself. And ends up caught. A nice head scissors there by Del Sol. And a drop kick sends Taylor to the corner. And it was Chuck Taylor making no uncertain terms about how he absolutely hates luchadors, which led to the debut of El Generico in Los Angeles. Back at Open the Golden Gate as part of the Chuck Taylor Invitational. Taylor showing the muscles. And he and Silas Young working very well together here in the early going as the Man Scout Jake Manning, and I don't have any idea what the hell the swamp thing is, but the swamp creature, whatever he calls him. The swamp creature at ringside. And fans, be glad you are not here in Charlotte, because I am a good 50 feet from the ring, and I can smell that thing from here, whatever it is. And Silas Young, super tough competitor out of the Midwest. Samurai Del Sol in a bad way here. This matchup does not count towards the records here in the tag team division in Evolve, but not without huge, huge stipulations at the end of it should one team be victorious. The winning team allows Johnny Gargano or Chuck Taylor, depending on which team comes out victorious, to pick the stipulations in the next singles matchup between Chuck Taylor and Johnny Gargano. So the stakes are absolutely enormous here for Taylor and Gargano in this matchup. And Gargano clearly getting frustrated over the tactics of the Gentlemen's Club. Right now, Samurai Del Sol has got to find a way to make a tag here. Headbutt by Taylor. That one rocked him as well. Del Sol in for the ride. What a drop kick by Chuck Taylor. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. He may be a despicable human being on many levels, but there is no denying the out-and-out talent he has when he steps inside the ring. He's cocky, he's obnoxious, but he is very, very dangerous and not to be trifled with inside the ring. And Del Sol showing a little fire here, but giving up a lot of size to Silas Young. Half Nelson bomb into the full Nelson. I think that was the full Nelson bomb into the full Nelson. And a hard kick from Gargano, but it leaves Chuck Taylor to slip in. Gets a near fall. Gargano trying to get Samurai Del Sol back into this matchup here. He has been getting punished here for the last several minutes by the Gentlemen's Club. And Taylor, as usual, very, very proud of himself. As the Man Scout tries to corral the swamp creature on the outside. Multiple rotations by Del Sol before delivering the DDT. Chuck Taylor out of it here as Del Sol needs to make a tag. Very close to the corner. Both men make the tag. And in comes Gargano. Silas Young, though, the knee to the midsection. Bipasso. Rolling Enziguri sends Young out to the floor. And Gargano could be looking to take a chance. Nobody home, but lands on the apron. Here comes Young. Got him. And got Taylor too. He's been trying to get his hands on Chuck Taylor since the opening bell, and he finally does out on the floor. But unfortunately, Silas Young got his hands on him, but a nice shoulder block. Slingshot DDT. 2.5. Although it sounded like a 6 count thanks to Jake Manning on the outside. Gargano ducks Taylor. Stereo super kicks. Tandem offense by Del Sol and Gargano, but only 2. Taylor and Del Sol electrified this crowd here. All 4 men in the ring. Frankie Gastineau allowing a lot of leeway here. Cross corner forearm and a knee strike. Del Sol up and over to the floor. Taylor caught Gargano. Backbreaker. Lariat combo by Silas Young. Cover. 2.5. Taylor turned his back. Oh, but a forearm. The half crab. Del Sol's in trouble here. Taylor trying to finish off Samurai Del Sol as Gargano tries to make the save and does. Young out to the floor. Gargano again gets his hands on Taylor. Left hand to the side of the head. Gargano escaped. He's got it locked in. Chuck Taylor's in trouble. But Young makes the save. Vicious chop. Silas Young screaming at Gargano, make me tap. Gargano firing back with left hands. Nobody home. Drop kick right to the jaw. Young up on the shoulder. Lawn dart into the corner. Big boot right to the face. Spin heel kick from Del Sol. Big boot from Young. Oh, Del Sol's in trouble here. Forward roll by Young. A little too close to the corners. He goes for the PG Waja plunge, but gets super kicked by Gargano for his troubles. Sending Young out to the floor. Del Sol electrifies the crowd here in Charlotte. Oh, Gargano's in trouble. Awful waffle. He just dropped a chip on his head. And it's over.
Here are your winners, the team of Silas Young and the Kentucky Gentleman, Chuck Taylor. Chuck Taylor, a huge win here for the Gentlemen's Club in his tag team matchup, as now you get to pick the stipulations for the next singles match between you and the Open the Freedom Gate champion, Johnny Gargano.
Shut up, you retard. You see, tonight, I know that my good friends, the Legal Eagle Drew Gulak and Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy could not be here. So tonight I was joined by the Swamp Monster and the Man Scott Jake Manning. And they watched me destroy you, Johnny Gargano. You asked what I want the next stipulation to be? At the next set of Dragon Gate shows, whenever they might be, Johnny Gargano, it's real simple. I want that Open the Freedom Gate title. I want that on the line. So next time in Dragon Gate USA, I'm coming for that belt, sweetheart.
A huge victory for the Kentucky Gentleman, Chuck Taylor and Silas Young, alongside Jake Manning and the Swamp Monster. Johnny Gargano will be facing Chuck Taylor for the Open the Freedom Gate Championship.
Well, a huge victory for Chuck Taylor and the Gentlemen's Club over the Open the Freedom Gate champ Johnny Gargano and Samurai Del Sol. And you heard Chuck Taylor just moments ago. It is going to be Johnny Gargano having to put the Open the Freedom Gate title on the line against Chuck Taylor.
This next single match is scheduled for one fall.
This match is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first in the corner to my right, with an Evolve record of 0 wins and 1 defeat, the generic luchador, El Generico! And his opponent in the corner to my left, with an Evolve record of 3 wins and 2 defeats, the future of flight, Ricochet! Well, Brandon Tully calls for the opening bell, and what is in many people's minds a dream singles matchup between Ricochet and El Generico. And I am joined at this time by a man who knows El Generico extremely well, victorious over him back at Evolve 11 in Toronto, and victorious again here tonight to stay undefeated, the World Warrior Low Ki. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Lenny. This is a great opportunity for me, as this is my first chance ever on color, and I'm pretty stoked about watching this match. 2 young competitors who are quite gifted. I mean, I've had a few choice words for El Generico, but I'm sure he's taking that into consideration, and tonight we're going to see how much better he's done since then.
He's got his hands full, certainly, against Ricochet, one half of the Open the United Gate Tag Team Champions, along with his World 1 partner in Dragon Gate USA, Masato Yoshino. But Ricochet coming in this matchup, unlike yourself, victorious in Japan recently for a big title victory, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. It was Ricochet just a week ago losing the Open the Brave Gate Championship in Japan to Dragon Kid. So you got to wonder how that's going to play in his mind here tonight.
Well, I mean, losing a championship is a big hit to your ego, as any champion would attest to. Now, we'll see how well mentally prepared he is for El Generico tonight, because this is the first bout after losing that championship.
I think you can probably say the same thing about El Generico. A lot of people watching that match thought that you were in big trouble down the stretch in that matchup. He had you in the corner. He had you ready for the top rope brainbuster. And I don't know if it was a loss of concentration or what on his part. He allowed you that opening. And to your credit, the great athlete you are, you took advantage and you earned the victory. Very hard-fought one, but one that a lot of people think you were very close to losing.
Well, I disagree with that. The problem is, if you want to be a success in this profession, you have to be mentally prepared. You have to be physically prepared. You have to be the complete package. Now, I don't understand why Generico would just turn his back to his opponent this way, especially considering that Ricochet has just lost the championship. Now, you know he is eager to gain a victory after losing that championship. So, I mean, that's a sight right there. That's a sign right there telling you how ill-prepared he is.
Both these men seem to be feeling each other out here in the early going, much like you did in a very tough match against a game Jigsaw. Another man with a mask on his face that you had some choice words for at the end of that matchup.
Well, I did. I mean, it was a valiant effort. I'll give him that. But, you know, this is not a game. When that bell rings, you better damn sure be ready to handle yourself like a man. And, you know, I thought he made a valiant effort, but, you know, he made just way too many mistakes. And, you know, I was able to capitalize and walk away with the victory. But, you know, I'm here to let every competitor in Evolve know the games are done.
You've said it in no uncertain terms. Your goal here is to get the company, create an Evolve championship, give these great athletes something to strive for, something to fight for, as guys like you say, want to take back the sport of pro wrestling.
That's right. I want my profession back. And I make no qualms about it. If I got to make a few examples in that ring, I will. Now, these young competitors nowadays, they aspire to be those legends that they grew up admiring. The only way they're going to do it is by getting in the ring with guys who are going to get down and dirty, and they're going to have to prove themselves as men when that bell rings.
Right now, it is Generico with the side headlock on Ricochet. Generico with a leverage advantage. He's got the height on Ricochet, able to crank down on the hold, but Ricochet wisely back to his feet, fires him off with the momentum from Generico, takes him off his feet.
Well, see, I mean, opportunity like that, he's much more concerned with addressing the audience.
Up and over, lands on his feet. Another riposte, one of the ropes goes Ricochet, and a nice drop kick off the ropes by Generico. And again, taking time to play to the crowd here when clearly Ricochet dazed getting back to his feet.
I don't quite understand why he's looking over here. I'm not his biggest concern right now. His biggest concern is the man who's in the ring with him in Ricochet.
And Generico is looking right in our direction as he delivers a hard Knife edge chop to the chest, and it seems whatever message you were trying to deliver to El Generico last time you guys faced each other in Toronto, it seems to have made quite an impression on him.
Well, I hope so. If he wants to step his game up, now's the opportunity.
Generico now stalking Ricochet, putting the boots to him. And again, now couldn't quite make out. He was mouthing something in this direction towards you, but back to the action. Scoops up Ricochet. High impact offense. Backbreaker right across the knee. And it seems Generico with a cover here. Looking over you seems to have struck a little bit of a chord here with El Generico. Seems to have got a little bit more vicious in his offense here on Ricochet.
Well, I mean, that's the bottom line. If you want to win, you need to be aggressive. You need to be controlling. You need to take advantage of all the opportunities that you have before you. And if he doesn't, well, he's going to end up in the loss column once again. He can look at me as much as he wants, but I'm not the person he's wrestling right now.
And Ricochet, a guy who's come so far in the past year or so in this sport. Not just a good high flyer anymore. He's really well-rounded now. You see the agility on display right there. Nice head scissors as he takes Generico off his feet. Little hesitation. Generico elevates him, but he lands on the apron. Knife edge chop from the generic luchador. Charges. And another head scissors takeover by Ricochet. Leg lariat takes the masked man down. And he takes your advice, goes right for the cover, hooks the leg, but only gets two.
Only gets two, but he needs to be on top of Generico right now if he wants to keep control on him.
And yourself, having spent so much time in Japan, and you can really see how much Ricochet's game has evolved over the past year with the experience he's gained over there. You having a lot of trips over to Japan over the past 10 years yourself, and El Generico just back from a tour there as well. But when you go to Japan, you're either going to get better or you're going to get out. There's two ways about it.
That's the bottom line. The Japanese professional wrestling culture is a lot different than it is in America. And they demand high performance from their athletes. They demand high level of skill from those wrestlers. And the only way you hang over there is if you can compete at a high level with the Japanese.
Ricochet now trying to ground Generico after that hard kick to the chest. Got himself another 2 count. Didn't hook the leg, however. Generico able to slip out the back door. Is now Ricochet taking a little shortcut there, but able to maintain control. He's got the arms trapped. Now using his foot for leverage. Extra added pressure on the hold.
The variant of the surfboard.
And fans trying to get behind Generico here is now Ricochet trying to turn the shoulders down to the canvas. Pinning combination for 2. And Generico again slips out the back door. He's trying to get fired up here.
Well, Ricochet better not give him too much opportunity. And he just met one chop.
Two guys exchanging strikes here. Not something both of these guys are known for, but they're willing to dish it out here. They understand how important it is to pick up a victory here.
Waiting for, get him.
Ricochet looking to go to 4-2. Generico trying to get his first win. And looks like he's trying to get Generico across his back here, but a little variation on abdominal stretch here as he elevates Generico. Referee asking the masked man if he wants to give it up. He says no. And Ricochet really cranking down here.
See, this is how you become a champion. You got high-level technique, like this variant of the abdominal stretch, but you just can't give that opportunity to Generico, a person like Generico who will capitalize on the opening, and he just got a near fall.
Then Ricochet wisely jumps right back on the attack. Oh, vicious strike right there from Generico. That one just made a thud as Ricochet back to his feet, right hands. Now they're just trading shots here. And Ricochet reeling a bit here against the ropes as Generico seems have the advantage there. Oh, takes the legs out from under him. Right down across the midsection. Right into a cover. He's got the legs hooked deep, but only 2.
Don't worry about clapping to the audience. You better get on Generico. So that's a problem with these guys here in Evolve. I told you, I want my profession back. These guys are out there playing games for the wrong reasons. This is not a game. There's money at stake to be made. They want to play and pander to the crowd, let them. They're going to end up in the loss column more frequently than the W.
Ricochet again tags Generico with a right hand. That one wobbled him, but he puts on the brakes. Caught with a boot to the gut. Nice counter right there by Ricochet. But it's Generico maybe playing possum. tilt-a-whirl backbreaker right into a cover. Also tried to utilize his body weight across the backside of Ricochet, forcing the shoulders down even more, but couldn't quite hold the future of Flight down to the canvas for 3. Generico here maybe trying to get a little energy back as he had taken a lot of punishment.
This is the opportunity I'm talking about. Big boot, big boot.
Oh, nice block right there as Ricochet clearly had it scouted. Glancing blow on that forearm. Nice duck through into the enziguri. Caught him right on the side of the head. Takes the equilibrium right away from Generico, who ends up in the front row. And Ricochet not afraid to put his body on the line. Wiping out Generico on the floor.
He took out Generico in possibly the first row.
Hearing it from the crowd as he's got to get Generico back inside the ring, and he does just that. Needs to capitalize here. He's got a clear advantage on Generico, who's wobbly in the corner. Running shoulder block to the midsection. Back brain kick. Springboard lariat right into a cover. Both legs hooked. 2.5.
There you go. Now it's starting to get interesting. These guys look like they're starting to dig deep. And they're starting to venture off into territory that they haven't reached before. Generico, I'll give it to him. He's one guy that's very hard to keep down. So Ricochet does have his work cut out for him tonight.
And Ricochet trying to come up with a second gear here as he charges the corner. Took a little too much time, and Generico made him pay. Got the elbow right in the side of the head, not once but twice. That one rang the bell of Ricochet. Single-handed knuckle lock, works the ropes, and spikes him right on his head. Again, not quite enough to finish off Ricochet, and you got to give both these guys credit. They're taking punishment, near fall after near fall, and unable to finish each other off.
Well, when the stakes are this high at this point of the match, the last thing you need to be doing is pandering to the crowd. Generico should be attempting another cover. He should be attempting to put away Ricochet. This is what I don't get about these young guys. This is really, really upsetting.
Trying to elevate Ricochet, who puts on the brakes. Elbow to the back of the neck. Ricochet able to send Generico down to a knee, a handful of tights. Blue Thunder powerbomb. Dropped him right on the back of his head. High impact, but only 2 again. You can't get much closer than that. Perhaps a little frustration starting to set in here on Generico as he thought he had Ricochet there. And again, taking his time in the corner here as Ricochet has his back turned. Looking for the big boot. Oh, it's Ricochet beating him to the punch. Ricochet lands on his feet. Elbow strikes from Generico, frees himself. Boot to the gut. Back and forth they go. Reverse Hurricane Rana.
He has to cover him. He has to cover him now. Cover him.
He's got him. No. Generico again gets the shoulder up. Perhaps a split-second delay right there in going for the cover. He might have had him, but give Generico credit again. He got the shoulder up.
Might have had him, but Generico is definitely in a lot of danger right now. He just got dumped on his head with that reverse Frankensteiner.
Both men down, double count applied. Who's going to get to his feet first? Ricochet seemingly with the advantage here, but taking his time, allowing Generico to use the ropes here. Try and get back to his feet as this crowd split between these two athletes.
First man up. There you go. He better pull him down. Attempting to backslide. If he releases, all he has to do is take his head off.
Boot to the gut. Generico looking for momentum, but Ricochet closed the distance between the two. But ran right into a Michinoku driver. No! Generico can't believe it. He thought he had him.
See, this is what's wrong. He's in such disappointment. He's taking his sights off of the goal, and that's to beat Ricochet. He needs to get to Ricochet right now. Ricochet is in a world of hurt. Don't let him get to his feet. Generico needs to take him out now.
Ricochet hanging on in the corner as Generico back up to his feet. Could be looking for that big boot in the corner one more time here. Charges, nails it, took his head off. This is the position he had you in Toronto. Can he finish off Ricochet here? Hearing it from the crowd. Ricochet starting to fight back. Headbutt wobbles the masked man. No. Doesn't take him off the top, though. Looking for the brainbuster. He's got him up. Ricochet slips out the back door. Rolling Pele kick sends Generico to the corner. Running forearm connects. Generico looking for the boot again. Nobody home. Ricochet goes downstairs. Generico's in trouble. Down across the chest.
That's a wrap.
It's over.
Did he kick out?
You gotta be kidding me.
He kicked out. Finish him.
Oh, that was 3. Referee says no. Generico still with some fight. This whole building's in shock.
I don't know why he's hitting the mat. He needs to put him away. This is his best opportunity to finish him off.
What does he got to do to finish him off? Generico grabbing at the foot. Ricochet trying to climb the corner here.
I'll tell you right now, from a wrestler's perspective, the disappointment when a man kicks out of something you think is your best technique is a very, very hard hit to your ego. And I think that's what Ricochet is experiencing right now, so he's attempting to put him away.
Oh, Generico right back up. Looking for the brainbuster one more time. Can he hit it this time? Again, Ricochet able to fight out of it. Oh, he ate a kick right in the mouth and he crumbled. Ricochet up top. 630. Cover. It's over.
Wow. Now that's how you finish someone.
Here's the winner, and now 4-2, the future of flight, Ricochet!
All the credit in the world to El Generico, but what a tremendously hard-fought victory is Ricochet. You head to 4-2 now here in Evolve. Your thoughts?
That's right, 4-2. 4-2. Cheater! Anyway, some of you guys may be asking, I'm not here very often because I'm usually over in Japan, but that's okay. Some of you are asking, what's next? What's next for Ricochet? The answer to that is right over there at the commentary table, low key. You've been coming. I know, right? Low key, you've been coming to Evolve, making challenges to any and everybody. How about I make a challenge? We're gonna, if he accepts, we'll see about that. Low key, how about I make a challenge to you? How about you, what do you say? You and me, one-on-one, no beef, no grudge, just a good fight. Wrestling.
We might get an answer to that question in short order as the World Warrior Low Key makes his way to the ring. I gotta be quite honest, that was a hell of a match. But the one thing that I've learned in my career is never, ever bite off more than you can chew. But I'm a man of my word. I said I'm coming here to take my profession back. I'm a bit old-fashioned. The way we get things done is by a simple handshake. You want to do this? I want to do this. They want it, so let's do it. Right?
No, it's not my intent. Now, I know you're mean-mugging me as bad as you want right now, but it's not helping you any. You were staring at me while I was at the commentator's table. What are you thinking? Your biggest opportunity is in this ring, not out there trying to pick a fight with somebody who's not even a concern of yours. Now, I told you in Toronto, you're not as good as you really think you are. You may be able to fool, oh, give me a second. You may be able to fool them, but I've been all around this planet for my chosen profession, and I stand by every word that I have spoken. Now, you're the masked luchador, El Generico. Everybody wants to yell, ole, ole, ole. But understand something, in my travels, I've come across legendary masked wrestlers. Jushin Thunder Liger. Tiger Mask. Rey Mysterio. If you don't change your behavior, you're going to become something that I really don't want to say, and that's a disgrace to the history of masked wrestlers. Take that for what it's worth, and think about what I said.
Another game effort by El Generico, but once again he falls to defeat. 0-2 now here in singles competition. And again, strong words from Low Ki for the masked man El Generico as we get ready for our main event.
This next match is scheduled for one fall. It is your main event of the evening, Evolution's End. The rules to Evolution's End are as follows. Inside of the ring, it will be traditional professional wrestling Evolve rules. On the outside of the ring, on the apron and the floor, anything goes, weapons are legal. Introducing first, in the corner to my right, with an Evolve singles record of 3 wins and 4 defeats, the Callahan Death Machine, Sami Callahan. And his opponent in the corner to my left, with an Evolve singles record of 2 wins and 1 defeat, the whole Foxen Show, A.R. Fox.
And the finale that has been 10 months in the making is underway. Evolution's End. Traditional wrestling rules inside the squared circle. Anything goes. Weapons are legal out on the floor. And fans, don't forget, after the action tonight, you can go to DGUSA.tv to vote on what you thought was your favorite match of the night to name the DVD of this event when it comes out at WWNlive.com and EvolveWrestling.com. And I am joined right now by a man who suffered a very tough defeat in tag team action earlier this evening. the whole shebang, the Open the Freedom Gate champion, Johnny Gargano. Right now, Johnny, AR Fox looking very, very good.
Lenny, I got a huge knot on my head, but you know, I could not. Oh, wait a minute. AR Fox going to do something crazy here, like always. Whoa!
Soaring over the top rope to wipe out Sami Callihan on the floor. Once again, to reiterate the rules in this matchup, on the ring apron and on the floor, anything goes. Weapons are legal inside the ring. It is traditional wrestling rules.
How is what he did just even physically possible?
He is a tremendously physically gifted athlete. That's why he's been called the #1 draft pick since his first day here in Evolve and Dragon Gate USA, the style battle winner at Evolve 8. AR Fox not afraid to put his body on the line to dish out punishment.
I like to say that AR Fox is a mix of Sabu and RVD kind of meshed into one super athlete. I mean, you look at him, he's got the athleticism of RVD, but he takes risks like Sabu. He doesn't care about his body.
All right.
Do something again.
And right now he is looking to take another chance here. And the fans here in Charlotte seeking refuge. AR Fox should have sought a little refuge as Sami Callihan introduced a chair to his airborne head as he made his way through the ropes. And down across the back goes Callihan.
You mentioned, Lenny, how the fans get a choice to pick what the name title is on this Evolve show. And I got to say, these fans got a tough decision, a very, very tough decision. There should be some heck of a matches here tonight. I've been in the back watching. Every single match is delivered.
Oh, it has been a tremendous night of action here, and we look forward to it again tomorrow night in Concord, 8 o'clock right here again. iPay-per-view on WWNLive.com, and you are going to have a huge match, putting the Open the Freedom Gate title on the line against the winner of that big four-way matchup.
Sami Callihan may be doing me a favor right now because AR Fox is in that matchup. He may not have a chance after tonight, after what Sami is going to do to him. Oh.
Another chair down across AR Fox, and the war that I said has been 10 months long here in Evolve and Dragon Gate USA between the DUF and Sami Callihan in particular, and AR Fox continues. The violence that these men have inflicted on one another across the United States has been the stuff of legend. It was the beer keg that the DUF used to try and destroy the face of AR Fox. It led to Sabu being brought in, the idol, the childhood hero of AR Fox in the Midwest in Chicago, to do battle in tag team matches between these two. It was the beer bottle across the head of AR Fox as part of that huge six-man tag at the end of November 2011 at BB King's in New York City that almost sent AR Fox to the hospital, and it was Philadelphia. Them two at the Evolve show, the tribute to the arena, forbidden to put hands on one another, but all night long getting into each other's head, trying to get under each other's skin all night long. And then it was down in Miami, the singles matchup between Sabu and Sami Callihan that saw AR Fox get a little bit of a measure of revenge, costing Sami Callihan that matchup and really pushing him over the edge.
I've been on every single Evolve show since the beginning, and I gotta say, we have never seen something like this matchup right here. We've never seen something like it. Evolve is all about rules, athleticism, sportsmanship. These two just want to kill each other.
And the only thing that comes close may have been the feud between Homicide and Jon Moxley, where Homicide tried to cut the tongue out of Jon Moxley's head in New Jersey. But right now, it is Sami Callihan, again, planning to do very, very bad things to AR Fox.
He's such an angry little man. He's so angry all the time. I don't think I've ever seen a smile on his face.
And he just planted that chair into AR Fox. And again, they spill out to the floor here. And you said it may be AR Fox as part of that four-way tomorrow that you end up facing. It's also going to be Chuck Taylor that you end up facing down the line in Dragon Gate USA for that Open the Freedom Gate title.
Tonight he dropped me on my head. Last Evolve show he made me pass out to his crab. He may have my number. I know him better than anyone. I know what he's capable of in that ring. But he also knows what I'm capable of. So when we get in that ring one more time, my Open the Freedom Gate title is on the line. I can guarantee you, you're going to see a different Johnny Gargano in that ring.
AR Fox wishing he was seeing a very different Sami Callihan, but Sami Callihan only has one gear. It is full throttle, straight ahead. And the one thing I think these two men share in common, and I know Sami Callihan doesn't think personally he shares anything in common with A.R. Fox. A.R. Fox, the handsome, good-looking young athlete with the great body that he thinks has
How you really feel, Lenny?
that Sammy, take another way from Sami Callihan. No longer, like yourself, the little fat kid that became a pro wrestler. He has gotten himself into amazing shape over the past couple of years. Sami Callihan once 300 pounds, and now you see a great young athlete in front of you who doesn't have to do a lot of the things we see him do. He's more than capable of getting in the ring and just wrestling A.R. Fox, but there is just something inside of him that is just not right as he slams A.R. Fox on the chairs. Like I said,
He loves it. Plain and simple. He loves inflicting pain on other people, especially A.R. Fox. There's a screw loose in that man's head.
Oh, wrapped in barbed wire. As they continue to punish each other here on the outside. No, he's got it. He's got it wrapped around A.R. Fox. Absolute brutality here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Not the first time the fans in Charlotte, North Carolina have been treated to barbed wire in a wrestling match over the years. Jim Crockett Promotion bloodbaths here in Charlotte throughout the 70s. And right now, A.R. Fox is trying to do anything he can to get away from Sami Callihan, who again has a chair around the leg of A.R. Fox. Oh!
Say what you want about Sami Callihan, he's very, very smart. You gotta think that stretch muffler, aiming for that knee, aiming for that leg. He's aiming for that right now. He may be crazy, he may be loony, he may have a little screw loose, but he's very, very smart in that ring.
Oh, there's no maybe involved. He is completely deranged. Now just throwing anything he can get his hands on at A.R. Fox, who's trying to crawl around ringside to buy himself a little bit of time. Speaking of time, right at the timekeeper's table, face first, goes A.R. Fox. Timekeeper forced to take refuge.
Smart man. Very, very smart man.
Rings the bell, does Sami Callihan of A.R. Fox.
He's looking for more toys underneath that ring. Look how much fun he's having. That's the thing that drives me crazy. Look at him. He's having so much fun out there. Most people would hate this kind of match. He loves it.
And clearly not finished yet. He's got a ladder. A.R. Fox back inside the ring. Callihan with the ladder. Look out! Basement drop kick by Fox. Sends the ladder crashing into Sami Callihan. It was the guardrail in Los Angeles that did the damage. Here it's the ladder kickflip by A.R. Fox again, putting his body on the line.
That's going to be A.R. Fox's best defense in this match, is using his own body as a weapon, because Sami Callihan is grabbing everything under the sun. He's got a pinfall here.
Can't quite finish him off. We've seen Sami Callihan take all sorts of punishment here in Evolve and Dragon Gate USA. And it is going to take a hell of a lot to put either one of these guys away. Fox charges in the corner. Diving lariat between the ropes connects. Skins the cat. And a drop kick.
Watch this. This is going to be absolutely insane. Here it comes. Oh, my God.
Launching his body through the air on a prone Sami Callihan. And a cover.
What do you even call that? What do you call that?
There are no words for that.
I want to put you on the spot, Lenny.
Air Fox.
I want to put you on the spot here. You've watched this whole show here tonight. What match do you think should be in the main event title?
Well, this one's not over yet. But it is going a long, long way to earning that spot. And fans, like I said, you can go to DGUSA.tv tomorrow and vote for your choice to title this tremendous event here, our debut in Charlotte. And like you said earlier, there are a tremendous number of matches that you could pick. I mean, Fit Finlay, his match against John Davis was an absolute war between two big, strong athletes. El Generico and Ricochet just had one hell of a fight, as did Low-Ki and Jigsaw earlier in the first half, and your tag match as well. I mean, up and down the show, it has been absolutely tremendous, and is exactly the type of athleticism and Tremendous pro wrestling action that you fans are going to see each and every time out here on WWNLive.com as we go to iPay-per-view. And right now, AR Fox looked like he may have had an opportunity right there to perhaps finish off a prone Sami Callihan. Instead, he's got the ladder set up on the outside, and he's got something very, very bad in mind for Sami Callihan, who's back to his feet. Open hand strike rocked AR Fox, and this is not looking good for AR Fox.
Sami looks like he's targeting that ear. AR Fox had a ruptured eardrum a couple weeks ago.
And that may have just played a part right there. Lost his equilibrium, paid the price, superplexed off the ladder into the ring, but Callihan too worn down to go for the cover. Both these guys have taken a hellacious beating in this matchup.
A lot of people don't understand that. You get hit in the ear, your whole equilibrium, everything is thrown off. In North Carolina is where I wrestled Shima. Shima smacked me in the ear like 16 times. I still can hardly hear out of my left ear, and that whole match, that rest of the night, I could barely walk. That's what the little ear thing can do. A ruptured eardrum could take him out of this game completely.
Determined look on the face of AR Fox as he's 2-0. Callihan as well as they square off. Trading shots. Not a lot of steam on those forearms after the punishment they dished out on the floor, but still effective nonetheless. Now is Callihan back to his feet, right hand to the top of the head.
I don't know if Fox wants to go toe-to-toe with Sami in strikes here. I don't know if it's a smart decision.
Oh, another open hand strike. That one right underneath the ear on the side of the jaw. And again, you see Fox wobbly, hanging on to the ropes, but he won't go down. Oh, just disgusting. Open hand chop sends Fox reeling to the... Telling him you can't stand with him. But he is standing right there. Took every one of those strikes. And just that quickly ascends the turnbuckles. Huge swanton out of the corner. Cover. No.
That's what Fox has to do. He has to hit hard, he has to hit fast, he has to kind of string moves together. Sami Callihan can knock you out with one punch. He needs to string things together. Jump off everything he can find. You're telling me.
And they're hearing it from the crowd here in Charlotte as Fox once again mounts the turnbuckles, but it's Callihan super kick right to the hamstring, and the knee of AR Fox buckled in the corner.
Pulling out his ACL right there, Lenny. It doesn't look good. That stretch muffler is looking like a prime finish right now. Yep.
He's going. He's calling it right on cue. Oh, what a counter! Roll up by Fox. No. So close. But Fox can't escape. He hobbled to the corner to try and buy some time, but Callihan popped right back up and made him pay. Duck of the clothesline. Springboard ace crusher. He spiked him on his head. Hooks the leg. Callihan gets up at 2.
I don't know how these two are doing it. Sami Callihan has a different, I can't even think of the word. He has a different motor. He just keeps going and going and going and going. Nothing stops this guy.
Well, Sami Callihan in the ring, and AR Fox now rearranging the furniture, doing work on that table.
That table could stop him.
Well, he's got it set at an awkward angle here, and now he's got the ladder too. I've got no idea what AR Fox has in store for Sami Callihan, and I'm pretty sure Sami Callihan does not want to find out. And it's almost an eerie silence here in the building as the crowd, I don't think, even knows what to make of this.
Everyone's very confused. I've never seen a structure like that actually put together. It's very interesting. I don't know what AR Fox is thinking right now. Uh-oh.
Hearing it from the crowd. Nobody home, crashes and burns as Callihan able to avoid the aerial attack of AR Fox. Trying to hoist him up. Clubbing blows to the back. Took his head off. Vicious Vicious lariat. Cover. No.
It's almost like these people here in North Carolina have no idea what they're witnessing. They don't know how to take it all in at once. They're just standing there stunned, almost. I've never seen something like this.
Tremendous amount of violence, along with precision-type skill inside the ring. It's quite the juxtaposition between violence and skill that we're seeing in this matchup. But these are two guys who can do it all. And we're seeing it here. AR Fox connects. Spin kick in the corner. Wobbles him. And then delivers a right hand that staggered him one more time. Fox now with a head of steam. Trying to order a little takeout. Lo Mein Pain countered. Right on the back of his head. Top rope German. Cover. Again he kicks out, but Callahan. Stretch muffler. And he's got the body scissors. Doesn't quite have the feet together. Instead, softens him up. Now he's got it locked.
I have no idea. I'm speechless at how AR Fox even kicked out. He got dumped directly on the back of his head. He has to be out of it right now. He can't. He doesn't know where he is.
No, he must, because he grabbed the bottom rope. I don't know if it was instinct or what. Forces Callahan to break the half crab.
It's got to be instinct, Lenny. He's got to be running clearly on instinct. I mean, when you're in that ring, you have know where you are. You look up. You've been in the ring enough times. You know where the ropes are. You just reach your hand down. Sometimes you get lucky.
AR Fox may have had a little luck on his side right there as he's trying to shake some feeling back into that leg. As a very determined Sami Callihan back to his feet. Sights set on Fox in the corner. Pulls the trigger but eats the boot instead. As again, Fox, instinct perhaps allows him to get the boot up into a charging Callahan. Not once but twice. Callahan still on his feet. Super kick scores. Huge boot in the corner. He's got him set for it. Fox creates a little distance. Cover! No, he kicked out! Callahan kicked out of Lo Mein Pain.
Oh no. I think Sami wandered into an area he shouldn't be in.
He's on that table.
Oh my God!
Over the ladder, through the table, you gotta be kidding me!
Sparks fly out from that table? That was ridiculous!
The table didn't break, but Sami Callihan may have.
That's gotta be it. Get him in the ring, Fox.
Right on cue, pitches him under the bottom rope. Immediately goes for the cover. Referee down.
Oh my God!
Come on! I'm afraid we're gonna find out.
Springboard 450.
He nails it. Hooks the legs. It's over. AR Fox brings Evolution's end to his war with Sami Callihan.
Here's your winner. And now for your one, the whole boxing show, AR Fox. AR Fox, it took 10 months and a trail of violence across the United States, but you have finally found victory in your feud against Sami Callihan. An incredible performance here tonight, as again, you continue to put your body on the line for each and every one of these fans, and we can't thank you enough, but I know I know we're just moments removed from this, and it's probably the last thing on your mind right now, but I gotta know, what's next for AR Fox?
Well, after finally ending this war with Sammy, I'm gonna take this momentum with me tomorrow, and I'm gonna win that Open the Freedom Gate Championship.
You are part of that four-way matchup tomorrow in Concord, right here at 8 o'clock on WWNlive.com, iPay-per-view. And if you are victorious in that four-way, you will get a shot at the Open the Freedom Gate champion, Johnny Gargano.
Yep, and that momentum from that four-way, I'm gonna bring it in and win the title.
And certainly, the odds will be very good for AR Fox heading into tomorrow night. Congratulations again on a tremendous performance. I look forward to your efforts tomorrow night in Concord. Thanks for everybody here